So the band plays a pattern of hits and the drums play fills around them and it sounds sick. And then you try it and it sounds, well, less sick. Don't worry, we've all been there. But if that's you, you're frustrated by soloing as a drummer over music with a band, I have 3 steps to get you there. I'm using this Oceansize tune, Trail of Fire, as an example. Now why, you may ask? Well, the reason being it's not a drum solo in the classical sense. It's more like a big moment in the song, which means the hits are quite distinct and easier for us to pick out. Mark Heron, the drummer, keeps it fairly simple, mostly single strokes around the kit, really accenting those hits. But there are challenges in store for us because, as we're about to discover, this is not in 4/4. So let's go and have a look at that right now. Your first step is to internalise the rhythm, internalise those hits. Let me play you through this section. Try and pick out the time signature and the hits. Tell me then, what did you hear? It's a fun one. It's not consistently one time signature, or at the very least that's not how I feel it. Let me hit only the main accents for you. So how are you hearing it? Is it 3 lots of 7 and then a 3, like this? It could be. Personally though, I prefer to hear it at half that speed, at that tempo. If you hear it like that, it will be a bar of 7 and then a bar of 5, like this. To be honest, it's whatever makes the most sense to you. I've just shown you a couple of examples. You might feel it a different way, and that would be fine, so long as the music comes out the way it needs to. If you're struggling to internalise it, sit with a pulse and play the hits, like this. Your next step, play those hits along with the song until it just becomes part of you. Step 2, time to add some fills, but start with single strokes only. Have a play around and test out where the hits land. Here I'm leading with the right hand and all the hits fall with the right hand. And if you need to ease in gently, start with a set, repeating pattern of fills. I recommend something like this. Then take that pattern and move it around the drums. Then, where else in the pattern can you add single stroke motifs? Even push it as far as playing single strokes throughout the whole pattern so you can understand what it feels like. I may have got carried away at the end. Then once comfortable with all of this, you can move on to the next step, experiment. Now I've been teaching these 3 steps to my students for a long time, but whenever I outline a video, it's always interesting to just whack in the question into Copilot or any AI app and see what it comes up with. So it's very interesting, isn't it? We've got to understand the basics. I say internalize the rhythm, same thing. Start simple, yep, single strokes, simple fills. Practice with a metronome, we had a little bit of that. And learning from others, we're learning from a song. All a lot of fun. Experiment. Well, we're about to get to that. Transcribe and analyze, not for this video. And then the thing that made me laugh the most is take lessons. It's even writing my segues for me, because if you are finding this stuff challenging and you do want to take lessons, at the time of filming this, I have a few slots open. I have an intro free call which you can just sign up for right now. You can go to the description and find that link, or there's this fancy QR code I made if you're not watching on mobile and you've got your phone handy. So on that call, we'll just chat about what you want, where we can take your drumming, and then we'll design a program so you can just go do that. But for now, on to step 3. Now it's time to let your creativity shine. There are 2 elements to fills. Number 1 is technical, and number 2 is musical. Technical meaning what techniques are you going to use in your fills? Rolls, or doubles, paradiddles, triplets, any little micro licks that you know, and then phrasing being the musical melody that you can make out of the drums. And personally, I like to approach both. So let's start with the technical. Could you perhaps stick in some rolls? Perhaps some doubles and paradiddles. Now it's time to think about musical phrasing. Now it's tempting to think lots of fast notes. That should be some fun footage of that. Time and place. You're a musician, not a drummer. It's why people are super divided on players like Ringo Starr from the Beatles. He never displayed super technicality, but he had musical phrasing coming out of his ears. Wait, no, I guess it was going into his ears? Coming out of his arms? Doesn't sound as good really, does it? In reality, you'll combine both. You'll use technical elements to make musical phrases. And hey, if you're an Oceansize fan, leave me a comment. I love that band. Coming up, I'm doing a deep dive into their drummer, Mark Heron, and whatever happened to him. I think he's such a good drummer and they're such a good band overall, but he's massively underrated and I'm surprised no one really talks about him anymore. So the video's here and I'll see you there.